It's pretty much just the video. There's just a weird, unhealthy interest in this case.
Yeah.
The Morphew case.
So that's what I was informed, is it was reference to that.
Yeah, and the case started in Salida.
Okay, let's talk about this body cam video footage that I got last night that I never really expected to get. Thank God I got it, but it ended up totally not being what I expected.
I know you don't pay attention to weird internet stuff, but you better see this one. I was like, well, I don't. Why are you telling me about it? He said, it seems threatening.
It's in relation to the Barry Morphew case out of Colorado. Been following that case for nearly 4 years now, waiting for Suzanne Morphew to get her justice.
He seems unstable. I've seen him in person, and you've probably seen the video. He gives me the creeps, man. He's a little scary. And I've seen a lot of people come in court. You just never know, predicting human behaviors.
What I expected to get was potentially a contentious domestic violence situation between a judge who presided over Barry Morphew's case, between that judge and his ex-wife. Potentially, that's what I was expecting. But instead, I got videos of a judge in fear of boots on the ground YouTubers.
I get home, I watch the video, and it's weird. He's wearing body armor, like a bulletproof vest, and then he shows up in my courtroom in a duster.
Let me just stop you guys right here. For those who don't want a lot of commentary, I've uploaded the videos I received already. It's on Patreon. Check the link below if you want to know all the dirty details, the YouTuber's name, and all that stuff. As for YouTube, I'm giving you the highlights. I don't do YouTube wars. I don't do YouTube drama. I just block and ignore and pray for people.
Upset about rulings I made that he didn't like. I'm a judge. People say bad things about you all the time. We're kind of used to it. But he seemed to take it to another level. At about minute 22, he says Judge Lama needs to resign or get off the case. I'm giving you time. Honey, this guy has gone up and down our street like 4 times. That may have been a coincidence.
So again, it's about the case of Barry Morphew. You might remember he was arrested and charged in Chaffee County with the first-degree murder of his wife, Suzanne Morphew. He was arrested on May 5th, 2021, almost 1 year to the day after Suzanne went missing, Mother's Day, May 2020. And technically, she was probably missing the day before. A lot of people think Barry had something to do with it. But those charges were dropped and dismissed in Fremont County, where this judge we're going to watch in the body cam footage where he presided. But that Fremont County trial was dismissed on April 19th, 2022, much to the dismay of many people who still want to see Suzanne get justice. But what could happen is, if the prosecutor decides to refile those charges, Barry could face a trial once more. He's only gone through preliminary trials, and what happened at some of those preliminary hearings is what led to this whole body cam footage brouhaha you'll see here.
She's really freaked out. She thinks she's being followed. She said one person approached her she thought was maybe a reporter, but I'm not so sure. Because I said, did she give you credentials? What'd she say? She said, talk to me about Suzanne Morphew. And she was like, ma'am, leave me alone. And then I was in Salida for maybe 4 hearings. So I had an interaction with him in court.
Oh, really?
Yeah, January 23rd. I think that's why he's so upset. His name was brought up by the defense attorneys on record, and it was being broadcast on WebEx, so he heard that.
So let's talk about the timeline. Suzanne goes missing Mother's Day or the day before in 2020. Barry's arrested in 2021. He does spend some time in jail, but by 2022, the charges are dropped, unfortunately. Suzanne's remains were recently found in what's called the Boneyard, supposedly, in Colorado, south of the home, this fabulous $1.5 million home she shared in Salida with Barry. Now, just prior to Suzanne going missing, she had text message conversations with her friend, Sheila Oliver. Those text messages, according to Suzanne, it's like a voice from heaven, accused Barry of being violent. She wrote things like, he has physically abused me, I'm afraid to be alone with him, I'll get a restraining order against him, I'll record him, I'm done, he makes up stories. She also texted, I don't care what you've been up to, and have been for years, I'm done, let's just do this civilly. Well, this is where former Judge Ramsey Lama comes in. He presided over that popular Morphew murder case, at least the preliminary hearing. There were like 4 days of long preliminary hearing. Unfortunately, we couldn't watch them on WebEx in Fremont County. Now, he talks about why we couldn't watch them. Allegedly, someone hacked the WebEx. I don't know if it happened to be the first day or during some pre-trial hearing. According to Judge Lama, what he's telling the cops here is that they were giving out a feed of the case, some hearing, and supposedly someone was streaming it on YouTube, which I guess is against the rules in this case. It varies. Different cases, they're all over the place on whether they allow you to stream it, allow you to record it, or what have you. Because that WebEx was so-called hacked, they mentioned the name of a YouTuber, and I will not mention his name here. I'll leave it all in the body cam footage over on Patreon. I don't want to announce it publicly because, to tell you the truth, if not for this guy, this YouTuber that they're talking about, I would not have been able to bring you guys that Barry Morphew body cam footage that I brought you as early as I did. Thanks to the docket who got it from this guy they're talking about in the video. He got it from a YouTuber who the YouTuber gave it to the docket, gave it to me. Eventually, of course, I got the snail mail copy, but it took longer. This guy was more local, and that's how we got it.
My ex-wife dropped my son off at 5, and she said, I need to talk to you. Strangers are reaching out to me on Facebook, saying photos of me, because he posted photos of my ex-wife in a bikini. He found them on Facebook or something, right? And he was posting our divorce decree on Facebook. He was posting our marriage certificate. And so she said she was getting contacted by strangers asking her about me, what she knew about me, if I was ever abusive, and she got freaked out, so she blocked them. And so she showed up today, kind of a nervous wreck about it. She also said a woman is showing up at her church. That was today, where my son was with her. And the same woman was at a park.
I understand people are passionate to see justice for Suzanne, and sometimes that passion can come off wrong and misconstrued. They're going to talk about this guy's passion and another unnamed woman's passion who allegedly followed the judge's ex-wife around to church and a park and said to her, "Talk to me about Suzanne Morphew."
Good, and yourself, sir?
Judge Lama, Officer BODYCAM.
Nice to meet you. You've been in my courtroom before.
A couple times, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So he's
bigger than I remember.
Oh, he's bigger.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, you know what it is? I probably look smaller because I'm on the bench. It's like a Wizard of Oz effect. Nobody recognizes me off the bench. I'm super short.
So this is his first night on this week. Do you guys work through Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay, so he'll be on through Wednesday night.
All right.
So at least from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. This will be the shift that's around.
See some extra patrols.
Yeah, Sergeant Sabatino's shift will take over in the morning,
All right.
and they'll be on through Wednesday as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just hoping we could get an initial statement as far as kind of how all
If that's
this.
all right with you.
Oh, absolutely.
Sweet.
His son's inside, so we're just going to do it here. He wants
Yeah,
to keep it
my son
perfectly fine.
and my mom, so I don't want them to worry.
No
So
worries.
I'm not sharing that with my kiddo.
Yeah.
And for obvious reasons,
Yep.
So if you don't mind, I'll give you whatever statement you need.
Perfect. So, start from the beginning. What's going on with this?
So, riding this afternoon, I got a call from my media director for Colorado, and he said, "Judge, I know you don't pay attention to weird internet stuff, but you better see this one." I was like, "Well, I don't. Why are you telling me about it?" He said, "It seems threatening, and you should be aware of it. I have one child, a 7-year-old boy." Whoops, let me turn the light on. Let's see. You need a Coke or anything?
No, I'm okay. Thank you, sir.
So I get home, I watch the video, and it's weird. He's wearing body armor, like a bulletproof vest, and then he goes on, he's just talking trash about me, my ex-wife, her daughter. Well, he references my son, but he says, "We'll keep the kid out of it," which of course was concerning to me.
Right.
And he's just, upset about rulings I made that he didn't like. I'm a judge. you know, people say bad things about you all the time. We're kind of used to it. But he seemed to take it to another level. At about minute 22, he says, Judge Lama needs to resign or get off the case. I'm giving you time. And I mean, you can take a look at the video. It was certainly concerning to me. It goes on for like maybe, I don't know the exact time, over 40 minutes. Okay. I normally would not watch something like that, but because it implicated my family and it was threatening.
Right.
Like, this is my first job as a dad.
Yeah.
Judgeship second, safety first.
Yes, sir.
So then, that was at about, I watched it at maybe 3:30, 4. Then my ex-wife dropped my son off at 5, and she said, I need to talk to you. Strangers are reaching out to me on Facebook, saying photos of me, because he posted photos of my ex-wife in a bikini. He like found them on Facebook or something, right? And he was posting our divorce decree on Facebook. He was posting our marriage certificate. And so she said she was getting contacted by strangers, asking her about me, what she knew about me, if I was ever abusive, and she got freaked out, so she blocked them. And so she showed up today, kind of a nervous wreck about it. She also said a woman is showing up at her church. That was today, where my son was with her. And the same woman was at a park. So she's really concerned. She hasn't watched the video yet, but I said, yeah, there's some weird video out there. You know, the video in general, you know, it's definitely a rant, but it's concerning to me because, like I said, he seems to, at about minute 22, and maybe throughout the whole video, he's mildly threatening me because he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Right.
Which, you know, and he just, yeah, it was concerning. But I'd say, I mean, probably should watch the full video. I can get it to you too.
I got it sent to me. I was watching a little bit before I came up here.
Okay, so you saw it.
I've only seen like the first maybe 10 minutes so far. So. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then of course now I'm being vigilant. I'm in the process of moving. I'm going to be out of here next Monday. So I'm moving right now. That's getting everything ready. So I got a docket tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm kind of just working on the move throughout the week. But I was going to tell you, had a neighbor coming over, so I was giving him stuff at about 3:30. I didn't say anything about the post. I had watched by then. And he goes to his wife, geez, honey, this guy's gone up and down our street like 4 times. So it may have been a coincidence. But I had him for sale sign, so maybe he was looking at the for sale sign, so I took him out. Okay. But he did go up and down. I was like, well, let's get his plate if he comes back. He didn't come back.
He didn't? Okay.
No, it was a beige truck.
Do we know what make, model?
It's like, my neighbor Kelly's got a beige truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to the color he's got. It's similar to this color, but it's not that truck. That's my neighbor.
Okay.
It's similar to that color.
Sorry.
But,
okay,
yeah.
kind of that.
Yeah, it's not as high up. 4 doors.
Is it like
GMC maybe?
GMC?
Yeah, I was thinking GMC or Chevrolet.
Okay, do you have approximate year?
I would guess between 2015 and 2020.
2015, 2020, okay.
So newish. 4-door, beige. God, if you had just come back up. I mean, and of course, yeah, I saw him go this way and then up. And then we were talking about it. And then he went down and he just kept going. And we were like, okay, we gotta get his plate at that point. Yeah. But we thought, well, it could be because you had the for sale signs out, which I took down.
Okay.
They were, yeah. So, I mean, it's the house is sold, and the other property's mine, that land there.
Okay.
So we sold that, but it's pretty much just the video. There's just a weird, unhealthy interest in this case.
Yeah.
The Morphew case.
So that's what I was informed, is it was reference to that.
Yeah, and the case started in Salida, and then Judge Murphy, the chief judge, had a conflict, and the chief justice appointed me. And then I was in Salida for maybe 4 hearings. So I had an interaction with him in court.
Oh, really?
Yeah, January 23rd. I think that's why he was so upset. His name was brought up by the defense attorneys on record, and it was being broadcast on WebEx, so he heard that, and he heard his name. Well, they brought his name up because they've got this whole investigation team, and they said, it looks like somebody named is broadcasting this. And they made this record, and we definitely had some feed going out. We didn't have an answer, so I shut it down. He shows up the next day to quote-unquote clear his name. He's in the courtroom, and the defense and DA show up and say, Judge Lama, that's the guy. We'd like you just to inquire if he was the one. So I close the courtroom. I say, you're not in any trouble, sir. Do you mind coming up here? I have a couple questions for you. We're trying to identify him, make sure he had the right account. So I'm like, again, you're not in any trouble. Were you the one saying Judge Lama? He's like, yeah, it was me. I didn't mean any disrespect. I was like, it's okay. You can say F the judge outside of court. You just can't say it in. You're fine, sir. Long story short, we determined he wasn't the one with the hack. And I said, you're fine. Courtroom's open. You can be in here, watch court. So he watched court. He left after a couple hours. And then since then, his name came up again because the defense investigator said they have information that he's threatening the defense team and the judge. This was a couple weeks ago. So I let my security, Fremont County SO know. And he never showed up, but they started, just being mindful of him. He didn't come to court. And then that was 2 weeks ago. And then I think it was March 11, this video broadcast. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. So.
Well, are you wanting anything done? Like, if we can pursue charges against him, do you want to pursue charges?
Well, why don't you guys take a look at the video, see what you think? I mean, I know there's retaliation against a judge. See if you guys think it fits. He's definitely getting close. It would be at minute 22, where I think was the closest thing, because he says, I think it was a threat, but he says something to the effect of, I've done this before, I've given somebody time before, and I'm going to do it now. You need to get off the case, recuse, resign, or, and I don't know what he says. It's in the video. It's like, I'm going to come for you, or, no, he didn't say that. I think he intimated he was going to, be posting things or doing things, and so, and he definitely seemed to be talking to an audience of, followers, and I feel like my ex-wife is getting the brunt of that, because she's now been contacted. Right. And I don't have a public Facebook account for that very reason, because I'm sure I would be inundated right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd appreciate if you guys took a fresh look at the video with an independent pair of eyes.
Of course.
Unbiased pair. Because obviously, with my kids being implicated, because the thing in the video that really bothered me is what he's dug up about me, my wife, my ex-wife, not my current wife, but my ex-wife, and he posted a photo in this broadcast that has my ex and her daughter from another marriage holding my baby, and then he said, well, we'll leave the kids out of it, but yeah, if you could see what you guys think, take a fresh pair, but I definitely think I'd rather err on the side of caution, man. I really appreciate the patrols, because he seems unstable. I've seen him in person, and you've probably seen the video.
Because I've seen a little bit so far. I plan on finishing.
Yeah, he gives me the creeps, man. He's a little scary. And I've seen a lot of people come in court. You just never know. Predicting human behaviors.
Right.
It's so hard, I don't need to explain it to you.
No, you're good. No worries.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, there's parts throughout the whole video that are concerning, but I thought around 22.
Okay.
So, yeah. Why don't you take a fresh look, see what you think?
Yes, sir, we'll do.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
Of course. And then, we'll continue patrol watches on your residence throughout the week, and
cool.
We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
And as Sarge advised, we're going to pass this on to the day shift as well, so they can keep an eye out as well. Is there any other places you'd like us to keep an eye on other than here?
This is it for now.
Okay.
And then when I make the move, I guess I'll want my house watched too.
Yeah.
And I'm moving more into town, so I'm like, great.
When we go,
just had to take advantage of a hot market, didn't you, Lama?
All right, I don't blame you.
It is, and I found a house under, and it's closer to Duck Park, and I want that for my son. It's by Lincoln Elementary.
Oh, nice.
So I'm down there. It's like, that would be good for my boy. He's got a lot of friends there. There's sidewalks, parks.
Yeah.
So it was one of those types of deals, but kind of more in town. But at least in Fremont, there's not an unhealthy investment into this case that I'm aware of yet.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of.
This doesn't seem like anybody's following it.
The one question I did think of after we had talked on the phone, was he solely in the courtroom because of the WebEx thing?
Yeah.
So other that you are aware of, he doesn't have any investment into the
No,
case?
he's not a witness. He's not a litigant. He's not a victim. He's not a family member.
So
he's
he
some
felt
guy
like he
in
got
Grand
called
Junction.
out over WebEx, so he decided to show up. Is that?
Yeah, drove all the way from Grand Junction, and then he shows up in my courtroom in a duster. You know, those leather dusters.
Yeah. How would he have found out about the WebEx thing? If it wasn't maybe somebody.
My media guy, Rob McCollum, he's convinced there's some leak. He's so aware of everything in the courtroom, because we eventually just said, we're going old school. We didn't used to be like this, just courtroom's open. If you want to see the case, just come into court. This would be easier. But somehow he knows everything that's going on. And so even that, after we shut it down, like that day, it was January, I think it was January 23rd, I could verify the dates. It was the 23rd or 24th, we had 2 hearings, one on each day. I think it was January 23rd was the hack, so we just were like, we can't figure this out, let's just shut it down. The 24th, he showed up. And then I said, sir, you're not in any trouble, we just have some questions, we want to see if you were the hack. And so we tried to identify him, because the defense team's been watching him, because they've been concerned about their safety because of him. This is the first I'm now concerned about my safety, my ex-wife's and my children, my son. So I said, were you the one who said, Judge, you're not in trouble, you can say that outside of court, First Amendment, it's fine, but we're just trying to identify if that's you. He said, yeah, that was me. And then he explained, I wasn't the hack though, and his story checked out, we didn't have any further questions. I'm like, you're fine, sir, just sit down in the courtroom, you don't have to leave. And so he's like, well, thank you, Judge, and he really softened up. I didn't take the bait, It's like if somebody I don't know, I didn't take the bait, and he just kind of backed down. He's totally de-escalated. And so then he eventually left after a few hours, and then he requested transcripts, and my staff was like, can you have transcripts? I said, yeah, even the sealed portions, they were about him, give them to him. He got the transcripts, and I got a letter from him saying, this isn't what transpired. I think he was hoping something else was in there.
He mentioned that in the video.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all on the record, and if you guys need to get that. So I denied it. He said, oh, these transcripts are fake, like there's some fraud going on. I'm not
Yeah, he had mentioned that, and I was wondering what he was talking about, but that makes
That's
more
what he's
sense.
talking about. So then he wanted the actual court audio, and we don't give that out. You get a transcript. That's it. That's what you get. So I denied that, and he's mad about that. I mean, it's like it has nothing to do about the case.
And this might be a weird question, too. When stuff like this happens, do you have a team of people who can look into them? Or is it just local law enforcement?
That's a good question.
To figure out...
No, it's a great question. So I should connect you guys. I'm gonna give you guys. Can I give you guys our head security?
Yeah,
of course.
And he's certified. Cool. He was a peace officer. Well, I think he's technically still a peace officer. His name is. Oh, 1 second. So he's aware of this. All right, John Putbreeze, Putbrese, and his cell is.
And that's for Colorado courts, or that's for the chief?
He's the head's state security, and he'll get involved when something big's going on. So the media guy let him know, and he saw it, and so he called me. But under statute, the sheriffs have to provide court security, and I would say maybe all the court security. So I was always told Steve Cook did all that. So I had his number. I was like, well, Steve, we got an issue. And then I was called and told Jim Moore's taking care of it. You guys know Jim Moore?
Yeah, he called me earlier and informed me about the video.
Okay, good. So it's Jim Moore and then John. And John's actually going to come down here Tuesday. He just wants to see what the layout is of the courthouse, check any security things. So connect with him. He'll appreciate that you guys are doing whatever you're doing.
Of course.
Need to coordinate or whatever.
Does he have access to stuff like NCIC and CCIC criminal histories and stuff like that, or is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
We're doing all that on our end also, but I just didn't know if maybe he found something that was pertinent to.
Yeah.
This guy.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I felt like he would have told me. He just was calling me. He's like, you comfortable with a gun? I was like, well, I own guns, but I'm not comfortable. I'm not trained to carry them around.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Right.
I respect it. You guys are trained, It's like you guys go through training.
Absolutely. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
so I do have firearms in my house, but I keep them in the house,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm comfortable with,
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. The video was concerning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Much like anything else we do, and obviously you see it from the other side of things when we go to court on it, we take it, very seriously also.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I know you guys do.
yeah, anything that comes up, anything that feels off, if you'll just let us know.
Oh, I will.
Again, jurisdictionally, not kind of really sure where this lands, other than the fact that you live within ours. So, whatever
Yeah.
you need, if something's off, or even a
Yeah.
car drives by one too many times, let us know.
Yeah, I will let you know if I see that one again. And now the for sale signs are down, so if he's coming by again, it's not going to be a coincidence.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know, and I'll try and get a number. We were sitting here talking, and of course, like, you don't know who it is. You don't want to just run out there.
Right. Here's my business
All right,
card.
cool. All right, well, yeah, I appreciate it. I was telling Officer BODYCAM, like, I'd like a pair of independent, unbiased eyes to look at it and see what you guys think, if it's something to press charges on.
Yeah,
Because, I
absolutely.
mean, what comes to mind is retaliation against the judge or threatening a judge. And, for me, it's personal because my son, family, you guys get it. But so, independent, unbiased pair of eyes looking at it, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
course.
absolutely. We'll definitely do that. As I was driving up here, harassment, stalking were also things that were like, depending on how long this goes or how long it's gone, maybe more towards your ex-wife.
Think about that.
Has
I
she
don't know.
reported it to, because you said Salida, correct?
Well, I talked to John, and John, he was worried about her, and he said she needs to report that to document it.
I would.
So I
absolutely.
told her, you need to report it, but I haven't heard back. She's really freaked out. She thinks she's being followed. She was really freaked out.
Say at the least they could,
And I
put
think
the
she's
toll
being
watch on.
followed. A woman showing up to her church, showing up to her park.
Getting
That's-
messages on Facebook. Are these people approaching her? Or she's just
one
noticed?
person. She said one person approached her. She thought was maybe a reporter, but I'm not so sure. Because I said, did she give you credentials? What'd she say? She said, talk to me about Suzanne Morphew. And she was like, ma'am, leave me alone.
Let's talk about why people started getting really angry with Judge Lama and what set him off. This YouTuber was set off because he was wrongly blamed for hacking the WebEx. So eventually, Barry Morphew's people or team or attorneys or someone mentioned this man's name live, accusing him of being the one who was, I guess, hacking the WebEx and streaming it live. Judge Lama is going to admit it was not this man who did it, but certain things this man did strike fear in the heart of Judge Lama. But let's talk about why some people were so angry with Judge Lama to begin with. Per Carol McKinley of the Denver Gazette, it was Judge Lama who would not allow prosecutors to introduce testimony of Suzanne's domestic violence allegations in Barry's trial. So Suzanne would text her friend, Suzanne Oliver, months before she disappeared, her dissatisfaction with her marriage, the way her husband was treating her. This is good evidence that makes sense logically to introduce it into Barry's trial and see if it had anything to do with her disappearance. But Judge Lama said no. So Suzanne texted stuff like, I wouldn't feel safe alone with him. She wrote that Barry was unstable and Barry would change like Jekyll and Hyde, but none of those text messages would have been presented. They would not have been discussed or allowed in the trial. That's what Judge Lama ruled on Thursday, February 10th, 2022. You can imagine this ruling upset many people. Judge Lama does mention, the YouTuber guy. He says, oh, this guy doesn't like a lot of my rulings. It's angering him. So many things angered this man they're talking about. He didn't like to be blamed for hacking a WebEx, which he did not hack in the first place. I don't blame him. But perhaps this amped it up with Judge Lama not allowing Suzanne Morphew's own words from the grave to be presented at trial. Why would Judge Lama not allow a victim's words to be heard? Internet sleuths discovered Judge Lama went through his own divorce. He's going to admit it was a high conflict divorce. That's what he calls it in this body cam footage. He's going to admit he went through this contentious divorce. Internet sleuths started wondering, wait a minute, what's up with Judge Lama's ex-wife. You know, she's an advocate against domestic violence. Did she experience that in her marriage to the judge? Is that why this judge isn't allowing Suzanne's testimony about what she went through at the hands of her husband to be admitted in his trial? Will Suzanne ever get justice? You know, people start taking it real far. They start saying, well, was he a buddy of Barry's, or is there any connection, and blah, blah, blah. And some of it, you know, it could be valid. Viewers started to ask me, find out what you can about Judge Lama. They wondered if, you know, he was preventing Suzanne from getting justice. I still don't understand what's behind Judge Lama's reasoning for not allowing Suzanne's own words to be admitted into evidence through valid text messages to her friend or even conversations. But what I found in this body cam footage and further research, by now, 2024, I finally got it. The body cam footage is from 2022, around the time of the prelim hearings. There is no evidence of any domestic violence at all. I have not uncovered any domestic violence at all. No proof that that happened with Lama and his marriage. So it took a long time, but I researched and researched and researched until I was able to get these body cam videos. I was amazed. I was like, oh, you guys are really giving them to me? Is this regarding Ramsey Lama? And yes, they said yes. You know, I had to follow up a little bit. The reason viewers wanted me to get these videos or whatever I could find about Judge Lama was because they were asking questions of his ex-wife, and I was told she made a statement, well, everything's a matter of public record. Everything basically they went through is out there. It's public record. So people thought she was hinting, if you guys want to know what happened in our contentious divorce, go get the public record. So that's what I did. But I didn't find any incident between them. I found the correct address. And by the way, Judge Lama does not live in this home anymore. Thankfully, he was moving. So the home you'll see here in this body cam footage is not where he lives anymore. I don't remember where he lives anymore, and I'm not putting that information out there. So anyway, I found his correct address. I FOIA'd for any body-worn camera, dash cam videos, incident reports, 911 calls, audios, anything related to Judge Lama, a former citizen of Cannon City, I think it is, Cannon City, Colorado. But what I got back is this, not what I expected. So they were estimating it would cost maybe around $160. I paid $60 thus far for case number 202200695 videos, an estimated $33 per hour cost for the cops to redact 181 minutes worth of 3 body-worn camera videos and 1 audio file. I didn't get 3 body-worn camera videos. I don't know what happened to the third one. I only got 2. You can see 3 officers are there. And the audio file, which I assumed would just be a 911 call. Usually that's how it would work. I thought I would hear Judge Lama on a 911 call. You know, as they do advise him later in this video, call 911 when you have a problem. It's the fastest way to get help to you. It is not a 911 call. It is a 4-minute audio, which I will put at the end of this video. Maybe you can decipher what this man is saying. I have no idea. I keep trying to listen. I think I've listened like 3 or 4 times now, and I don't know who it is speaking, and I don't know what he's saying. It is troubling though. So soon after Judge Lama decided, nope, Suzanne's text messages and all these allegations of abuse, they can't be admitted into Barry's trial where a jury could potentially hear her words from the grave, people started speaking out. On February 23rd, 2022, a letter to the editor, Domestic Violence Needs to be Admitted as Evidence in Morphew Trial, was published to the Ark Valley Voice by Shelley Schreiner. She's the executive director of the Alliance. It's an organization that helps victims of violence. I love what she wrote. I think it's not been confirmed, but Suzanne Morphew's brother Andy may have gotten it wrong. Andy Mormon, he may have gotten it wrong. He might have recanted this part, I'm not sure, but he did say he had learned Suzanne was working with domestic violence organizations, so I thought maybe she was working with the Alliance. I'm not sure if she did work with them or not before she disappeared. But anyway, this director of the Alliance wrote, "We are very concerned about Judge Ramsey Lama's recent decision to prevent evidence of allegations of domestic violence from being admitted in the Barry Morphew murder trial." Indeed, I'm hoping if charges are ever brought against Barry again in the future, please pray in his name, if it's meant to be, I hope that whatever new judge, because Judge Lama is no longer judging, probably all because of this incident and drama and more drama continuing, I hope whatever judge presides over that trial, they will let Suzanne's words come into play. So the executive director said, research has identified a number of factors in abusive relationships that increase the likelihood of lethality. According to Minnesota Advocates for Human Rights and National Center for Victims of Crime, lethal factors include threats from the offender of harming himself or herself, the availability of weapons. We know Barry had a ton of weapons around that house. Controlling or jealous behavior, check. Escalation of violence, and ending the relationship. We know that is a dangerous time, and we know from reading Suzanne's text messages, all important ding 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 text messages, that she was done. She was done. And she said it. Ending the relationship is a particularly poignant indicator of lethality in domestic violence. Survivors who leave their abusers are at a 75% greater risk of being killed by their abusers than those who stay. Preliminary evidence in the trial alleges that several of these factors were present in the Morphew's relationship. The arrest affidavit outlines numerous examples, including Barry threatened to harm himself in text messages to Suzanne. Yeah, he said stuff like, oh yeah, no, I'll be with my savior soon and don't worry about me or whatever. Firearms were present and unsecured in the home. Yeah, and they found different shell casings or whatever. Several examples of controlling and jealous behavior, including controlling finances and monitoring Suzanne's phone usage. Text messages from Suzanne indicating things were getting tense and escalating. And even her own daughter was a witness to some of this stuff and testified as such when she talked to cops. It's in the affidavit. Numerous attempts on Suzanne's part to leave the relationship. Any evidence related to these allegations is a critical piece of the story and should be admitted. Preventing this evidence from being admitted into the trial will not make it more fair for Mr. Morphew. In fact, it is the only way to ensure that the trial is comprehensive and fair. Makes sense. I mean, you can verify what's a valid text message that Suzanne sent to Sheila, which ones aren't, what her daughters witnessed and what they didn't. Suzanne's words from the grave measured up against whatever Barry is saying, that a mountain lion grabbed her or some strange man or whatever he's saying. You know, the jury would have to weigh what they believed. But if all this evidence about what Suzanne experienced before going missing is just not allowed in trial, well, that's not a fair scale of judgment. So now we're at February 2022 when that letter to the editor was published. So I'm sure it's ramping up people's anger, like Suzanne's not going to get her justice. Look at this judge. Judge Lama is not even allowing Suzanne to have her voice in death. What's worse, you know, she's already gone. Her mortal body is gone, quickened. She's with the Lord, but she can't even have her voice in death. So March 11th, 2022 is the date of the published video at question. Now, it's no longer on YouTube. I don't even think this guy is still on YouTube. A lot of stuff I don't pay attention to. I do think I saw the video though. I don't know if I watched the whole thing. They say it was about 40 something minutes long, but as I'm watching this body cam video, I'm being reminded of perhaps what I saw. Judge Lama is telling the cops this March 11th, 2022 video is when he believes he was threatened by this YouTuber. Now, the very next day, a petition was launched on March 12th, 2022. It reads, "Help give Suzanne Morphew back her voice." So it was launched, and knowing me, I probably signed it. Many of us just are passionate about seeing this through, seeing Suzanne get her justice. It reads in part that, quote, "The ex-wife of Judge Lama is an advocate of Suzanne Morphew and victims of domestic violence. She is also a member of the gym that the defendant, Barry Morphew, belonged to." So right there we're seeing, okay, they know that Barry Morphew and Judge Lama's ex-wife went to the same gym. I don't know the correlation. No wonder 2 days later, by March 14th, 2022, Judge Lama was calling the cops. It was the video that really caught his attention. He didn't even see it. Someone else told him about it. But Judge Lama started explaining his fears to them regarding the public's reaction to his ruling, especially this man's reaction to his ruling. He talks about this man who's showing up at a lot of the hearings. He was wrongly blamed again for hacking one of Morphew's WebEx hearings, causing the judge, as he says in this video, oh, we just shut it all down. We knew a feed was going out, but we shut it all down.
And my understanding is that was the same woman who went to the church, who went to the park. And then she told me...
Freak on 1 radio check.
There's a video of you, the guy's posting pictures of you.
I copy, thank you.
Talking about your ex. We're trying to get rid of Judge Lama. We want him off the bench. What can you tell us about him? And she immediately blocked. And she was in here like frantic in my driveway. And she was trying to show me the message, but she couldn't pull it up. I mean, I probably would have blocked it too. But I said, yeah, you should report that. That's...
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's not good.
When she was driving down here, and when she got here, was that shortly prior to that truck coming back and forth, or?
The truck was going back and forth just before she got here.
Before she got here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any times at all after?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I went inside, but he was out there, and I let my neighbor know, Kelly. Do you guys know Kelly Cole?
The name's...
I'm not sure.
Great guy. Yeah, used to be one of the owners of Matthews Electric.
Okay.
He's a good buddy of mine. So he got my bar. He didn't get the booze though. I'm taking all the booze with me. Yeah, I need to keep this locked right now. Wasn't giving him that. I gave him that though. He's a good neighbor.
Good.
But
Good.
yeah.
I just didn't know if maybe that was coincidence, him just driving by, or if it was somewhere in the time frame of Eric's wife being here.
I mean, they were here. I'd say he was driving by 10 minutes before my ex-wife showed up.
Okay.
So.
And do you have any cameras?
I do. Yep.
You do?
Yeah, I got one.
Did it by chance catch anything?
Oh, no, because they were dead. And that's why I was like, I gotta get my cameras charged. Because if you don't charge those things, they're no good. So, no.
Okay.
No, I know for a fact it didn't catch anything. But I got them now. I have this one pointed more at the door. Because, like, when you're a judge, you get the doorbell ring, pizza, it's nice to see. Like,
Yeah.
Most definitely.
yeah. So, that one I got there. I got a camera on that side. I gotta charge that one. And then I got one in the back. That one is charged. So, I got one in the back going, and this one's now going. They're both working. I'm gonna keep them charged.
That makes sense too with the whole DOC thing a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, I know. I remember Tom Ledue was always freaked out about that. When I became a judge, I was like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything's cordial with you and your ex-wife?
yeah. I mean, we had a very high conflict divorce.
Okay.
But we haven't had litigation since 2019. And I mean, she came here, because we do a drop-off and it's all about. So she had already written down a statement. She's like, read this. And it was just like, I'm being followed. And then I was like, my mom's here. I'm going to bring in. So Ramsey in, because we didn't want to scare him.
Right.
And then she just told me, everything, what was going on with her.
So she's comfortable talking to you about it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if something's going on, she would let you know.
Yeah,
Like she would
she's
call you if something
scared.
was going
Oh
on.
yeah, she
Okay.
would. No, she was like, this is horrible. People are saying all these untrue things about you. No, it's not her. That's a white woman.
Do a lot of people know that you live here or lived here? I mean,
I think so.
okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
It is kind of.
It is. I tried to keep tabs on it. It's like, I don't know. This job kind of hurts your social life a little bit.
Sure it does. And this is well out of the way, so it's kind of.
I know.
In the video, the guy had mentioned that you live close to the courthouse.
He said that.
Yeah.
No.
And it's like
He's
this.
calling out. He's saying where my ex lives.
Yep.
And all I can think about is my kid.
Right. No, absolutely.
He's going back and forth. And he's got the same name as me. He's Ramsey. So, yeah, he knew a lot of stuff. He got my marriage certificate.
Yeah.
He got my divorce decree. He knew I was a boxer.
He made mention of the fact specifically that he was going to leave your son out of it. But it's still a weird thing to say in a video.
That's threatening.
Yeah.
'Cause- And then he was telling his army of followers, she's a good person, leave her out. And the implication was, but this guy.
He more or less said that in the video.
That's what I heard.
Absolutely.
I
I
mean-
watched, like I said, almost 25 minutes of it. And
That's what I heard. And plus with the vest. So, I mean, from my perspective, yeah, I mean, I think he's threatening me. But, like, I still would like a fresh pair of
Yeah, of
eyes
course.
who are
Yeah.
removed, see
Yeah.
what you guys think.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Anything else tonight?
No, I mean, I think we're good.
I apologize. I didn't want to make it more of a thing right out of the gate, but I
Oh,
wanted to
no,
make sure that
no.
we had
Don't.
something.
I'm glad you guys are up here, and I'm glad you're starting the investigation.
Of course.
I want to make sure we have something because would hate to, tomorrow you come out and there's people still driving by, or
I know.
maybe there's more of a presence of people.
Yeah.
or-
No, I'd rather err on the side of
Yeah.
caution because
Most definitely.
he seems unstable.
That trial moved down here, right?
Yeah, I changed venue.
Right. That's what I
Everything
thought.
I do, the guy is like following and is upset about. But
Is there anything that you can do, or anything that the court security can do if he decides to show up at whatever the next hearing is?
I mean, I think so the law on it, to exclude somebody, they usually have to be disruptive, get held in contempt, or they're threatening somebody. He hasn't been back in court, so I think it would be, if we excluded him, it would be because we thought this was a threat.
Right.
I think that would
Okay.
be it.
I mean, if for nothing else, security would at least keep tabs on him while he's in the court.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, saying they're aware of it.
Yeah, and the other concern I would have is, I'm assuming you park in the back, right?
Yeah, we park in the
Okay.
back gate, yeah. I'm thinking about taking this off, because this identifies my truck.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I saw you driving
couldn't
down the
hurt.
street the other day. I'm like,
I know. People know that's me, because now I'm all blacked out in this. I wear a full face
Yeah.
helmet.
okay. I just don't want him necessarily, or anybody else, maybe somebody that he's influenced, to be sitting in the parking lot out there just waiting for
Just
you to.
waiting.
No.
Yeah.
I know that seems extreme, but it just,
Rather be safe than sorry.
yeah,
You
be
know,
worth kind of keeping an eye out, having maybe security.
somebody asked me, was there anything seem off to you? And I just thought of something, because you mentioned the courthouse. And this is probably a coincidence, because this has happened before. And it was a police officer, and they were following me, but my truck just matched the suspect. It was when they were looking for that guy, Vortex. That's his street name.
Yep.
You guys-
Woodard.
Nope.
Whatever. We all know the street names.
Yes, sir.
It's written up affidavits.
Yeah.
But I had that happen last week. There was this white, it looked like a government vehicle. It would follow me all the way from the courthouse. And then I made a left off 50 onto 9th heading up this way. And it still made a left follow me. I was like, what the hell? And then I thought he pulled off to the Garden Park building. So it could have been
Okay.
a police officer,
Yeah.
right? Doing police business. Yeah. I don't know, but now I'm just thinking about people. I'm going to take this thing off. But
So county has a wide variety of cars, and I'm not going to attest to what they drive,
Yeah.
but I can tell you, any unmarks that we have, it's either going to be that black Ford Fusion, it's going to be a maroon, like a Murano,
okay.
or a maroon
Murano?
Tahoe.
Like a Nissan Murano?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, no kidding.
Or a maroon Tahoe, and both of those are older, but
Okay.
so if either one of my guys is up here, and a white Ford F-150, two-door,
Okay.
so those are our unmarks, unless it's the chief or one of the commanders. They're going to be in a white
Impala.
sedan of some
Alright.
sort, and they'll have the little light on the side. But
Okay. Good to know.
yeah, so if you see any of those, I didn't want you to be surprised by me just driving back. and
No,
forth.
no, I appreciate
So,
you guys coming up here now to get on it. Cause
yeah.
Of course.
what were your initial thoughts right now?
I think we're definitely, just based on watching that little bit of the video, he's upset, and I think we could potentially be looking at stalking, whether it be on your ex-wife or whether it be, down here. Not necessarily. I think we're building to that.
Yeah.
That's what it
Gotcha.
seems like to me.
Gotcha.
Obviously, there's some concerns with your ex-wife, and Commander Bell has talked, or maybe it was the chief, had talked with Chief, is it Johnson up there in Slida? Rush Johnson?
Speezy? Oh, Rush Johnson? That sounds familiar.
He's the new police chief, so,
Okay.
and I say new. I don't know if he's been there a couple years as the chief.
No.
I know Robin Vidmar's dad used to be the chief there for...
Is it Terry Clark?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
for
retired,
extended
didn't he?
period of time.
He did.
Yeah, he retired. So
He's
I
just
think...
Baylor for us now.
Yeah, so I think Russ Johnson took over for him, so it
Okay.
might be 2 or 3 years, but that's concerning, especially in Salida. I don't know much about Salida. I think
Yeah.
it seems a pretty calm area. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm off
it
on that.
is. It's pretty quaint, but it's changing.
Is it?
But this case over there was like an unhealthy interest. It's part of the reason why it got changed the venue here. It was, yeah, I mean, it was intense, the interest there.
Is the, I'm trying to find the right word, the flack that you're catching over this case, or the interest, different in any way than some of the other ones you've had, like some of the other higher-profile cases you've had?
Never. That's a great question. I asked, so Rob McCallum, he's like the head media guru for this branch of judicial. And he goes around the state and deals with media, helps them get what they want on high-profile cases. So this is a very high-profile case because there's like interests, Dateline, CBS, or, and people are interested in it. They have been for a while. I said, is this weird internet thing normal in high-profile case? He said, no. He's like, we're way beyond the status quo. This does not normally happen. This weird internet interest. I mean, it's some of the I don't watch this stuff, but I hear about it. Like the podcasts, people have like this obsession with this case. And I think that's what this individual is. And he's free to do that, but you can't threaten me.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Or my ex.
Right.
Most definitely.
You can be interested, or my,
Right.
Yeah.
Another weird question, when you were watching that, that's not an actual courtroom, is it?
No, I don't think so.
It looked green screen to me, or something
Yeah.
to that effect, but...
No, not that I'm aware of. And
so he's not just chilling in a courthouse somewhere waiting for...
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And that's not Grand Junction's courthouse either. I worked as a public defender at Junction, so I know
Okay.
it, and that's where he's out of.
Yep.
So that's where my marriage certificate's from, as he
Okay.
noted.
It seemed a lot longer than most courtrooms that I've seen.
Yeah.
And so
I think it's a green screen.
That's what it looked
Yeah.
like to me, but I just want to make sure he's not just camped out in some courtroom.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
waiting
No.
Okay.
No, and that's nothing in our courthouse at all, Chafee, anywhere in this jurisdiction. It's not Grand Junction. So
Okay.
it's a green screen for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have concerns about going to work?
I mean, I'm going to be vigilant.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll get there. I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to be careful.
Okay.
But no, I think I'll be fine getting to work.
Okay.
Now, I know the SO, their court security, they've told me when I'm leaving, if I want an escort, if I'm nervous someday, they would follow me out. So...
Well, I would offer the same for myself. If you come out here and you see something that seems off, because my car's as low-key as it is, I'd be more than happy to come out here and
Okay.
take you in if you need.
Okay.
Whether you want to follow me or I follow you or
Okay.
whatever.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know for
Okay.
sure.
Any questions for us?
No, just, when you guys finish reviewing that, let me know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been repeating to Officer Bodycam, Sergeant Bodycam now?
Officer.
Stand in, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Just filling a role for
I
him.
think at minute 22, that was my most concerning.
Okay.
If you guys look at that,
Will
I'd
do.
like to see what you guys think about that one, because I thought he was threatening me to
Okay.
get off the case, and he was trying to intimidate me. He was implying something else is going to happen.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, is that what the vibe you got?
Because he had mentioned if you don't recuse yourself,
Yes.
we're gonna, proceed.
And I don't know if
whatever
it was
that
we're going to dig up more about your past. It's like, oh, okay, well, I've only been married once. I don't know what's coming next.
means.
Got some traffic tickets.
Pulled over the other day. I'm like, oh.
You got pulled over?
You did. Well,
I
it might have
did?
been a month ago or a couple weeks ago. Somebody ran your plate, something like that.
Oh.
Like, don't.
Oh, was
let it
that?
go.
I
hear your last name come over the radio.
They didn't stop me.
man.
Was I speeding?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was just listening to the radio, but
Oh. Maybe it was the day I thought somebody was following me.
that could be. It could be.
Was it like a few days ago?
It seemed like maybe a week, maybe
Okay.
a little longer than that. But
I mean, if I'm going to speed,
the bike, for
sometimes,
sure. For sure.
sometimes the clutch is easy to
Yeah.
do.
I got pulled over for the second time in my life. Not this last October, but of 2020. No. Yeah, 2020. And Loveland PD, I just looked down and I'm like, I'm going 65, or it was 64 and a 55. He pulled me over, gave me a ticket for, I think he said I was going 70 something. I just was like, man, that's terrible. That's rough.
So how many point ticket was that?
So it was 4, and I paid it because I wasn't going to drive back up to Loveland to sit in court and try to argue something.
Yeah,
'cause-
that would have been the same thing.
yeah. So 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah, first ticket ever. It was a little.
I just got a 2-point. I got a 2-point ticket like 2 years ago, and it was my first ticket ever in Colorado. I hadn't got a ticket since I was in law school. And let me see here.
It's kind of dark.
It seems too dark. No, it's too dark. I think that's Whitney.
Okay.
Do you know him?
Zach Whitney?
Zach Whitney.
Yeah.
I think it's Zach Whitney.
Sure do.
Yeah.
So you got a ticket here, huh? A couple years ago?
It was in Springs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my son was in the back of the car. It was
Oh.
a good lesson. Nobody's above the law. One time he said to me, "Papa, go faster." No, I don't want to get a ticket. I thought you were the judge. I was like, no. No one is above the law.
You sat over our adoption with
Yeah.
her. She was in the back of the car. She's crying. Just, oh my gosh,
she's
you're
upset
going to
about
jail. I'm like, I'm not going to jail. It's a ticket. I'm just gonna sign it. We're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Taryn was so mad because I went under the speed limit by 5 miles an hour the entire 3 or 3.5 hours home from Loveland. She was so frustrated with me.
Gosh.
I think the last question I have before we leave is, say we do come up with something on this. Obviously, protocol is the 11th on call.
Uh-huh.
Do you have something on your end to kind of keep that?
Yeah, I can't preside over because I would be the victim. So the judge, my on-call ends tonight. Just send it. If I see it, I wouldn't touch it, and I would call another judge. And
any of the other judges opposed to us just calling them?
If I'm the victim, though, arguably they all might have a conflict.
Well, that's true. Okay. I don't know if that's something worth just looking at and letting us know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll send a blast text to my judge buddies
and
see. Yeah, because you'll need a judge to review that. Okay, yeah, I can figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know if who the next best judge in the jurisdiction would be, whether it be as far as obviously you work with the people down here, so is it the chief judge in Chaffee or anyway?
Yeah, I would say just contact the on-call, do the normal protocol.
Okay.
Then that judge will consult their own ethics and determine. Obviously, I will be out of it.
Yep.
I wouldn't touch it, but so it could go there, and then another judge would review it, and they could determine. And if they can't, then they on their own know who to send it to. Yeah. So
cool.
So on your end, you guys just follow the same thing.
Cool.
And then that judge will know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I just didn't want there to be any further thoughts of impropriety or anything else.
Yeah, because I don't think this guy's going to be shy about saying something's going on.
No. And we definitely don't want you to have to feel obligated to look at something, and not that you would, again, ethically, but just didn't want that to be convoluted.
Oh, no, for sure. It was a good question.
Cool.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Not a problem,
I appreciate
sir.
your time, guys, and appreciate you guys looking out for us
of
here,
course.
doing the patrols. And I got your cell. That was your cell.
My work cell, yeah.
Your work cell. If I did get up and there was like that guy, what should I do?
I would stay in the house. Call us.
Yeah, give us a call.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll come out and talk to him.
Yeah.
If
what would be
nothing
the
else,
fastest? Just call 911 or call you, or what do you think?
Probably 911 would be
I
the
would,
best.
in this situation,
911?
I'd say 911.
Okay.
Suspicious activity.
So see the vehicle. If it goes up, goes back, just call 911.
Yep.
Okay.
See
Or
if
if
you can see a
anybody's, like,
plate. If you
hanging
can't,
out.
don't try to put yourself in harm's way, to try to see the plate. Just
Yeah.
give us direction of travel, the
Yeah.
best description that you can.
Yeah.
If anybody's just hanging out weird or just up the bend or whatever, give us a call and we'll come check it out.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully it doesn't get to that, but I feel better knowing you guys are doing more patrols around.
Yeah,
Of course.
absolutely.
So, all right, and then you guys got John's number, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hopefully
he
we don't
seems-
freak your neighbors out too bad. But
Oh no, what's right? They all know I'm a judge, so they'll assume it's official judge business.
okay.
Well, I appreciate
All
it,
right,
sir.
thanks,
Thank you
Lama.
for your time.
Appreciate it, guys.
So I made a little.
Judge Lama seems really confused and perplexed by true crime YouTubers or podcasters. He doesn't understand. He calls it an unhealthy, basically, level of interest in this case. He doesn't know why some people are so interested in this case. Now, I get it. Some things can be misconstrued. Maybe certain people in the entire true crime community might go too far. Bless God for the boots on the ground people, because again, if not for this guy they're talking about, I wouldn't have been able to bring you guys Barry Morphew's body cam videos as early as I did. The viewers want to see it, they want it. Thank God for boots on the ground people. But sometimes I wonder, where does the line cross? You know, can cross over into threatening, and I don't even know where this case ended up. Judge Lama is going to explain the things that set him off about this YouTuber. You know, it was some kind of green screen and it appears as if he's in a courtroom. He's wearing I guess a bulletproof vest. The YouTuber would say, well, I was wearing a bulletproof vest, as if to say, look, this is me being protected. This is me like protecting myself. I guess not trying to cause harm. But the way things are interpreted, Lama is telling the cops to watch that scary YouTube video, he calls it. A man is sitting there in the bulletproof vest. Lama claims he's issuing threats for the judge to remove himself from the case. He tells the cops to watch the YouTube video. Different cops have watched different portions. Like one cop watched at least almost 25 minutes of the video. Another cop watched about 10 minutes of the video thus far. By the time they arrived at the home where the judge no longer lives, he talks about he's moving. He must have Tupac on the wall and Creed. And, you know, he's talking about his bike and his big old truck, and how there's something, I don't know what, on his truck which gave him away as him. So he was like, I'm going to remove this off of my truck. It's, you know, making people recognize me too much. Apparently all this drama scared him enough that it worked. Judge Lama announced his resignation effective July 25th, 2022. He cited health issues as part of the reason behind his decision. If I'm not mistaken, he might be only 42 years of age. But again, viewers wanted me to dig into these reasons why the judge wouldn't allow Suzanne's testimony, as it were, into Barry's case. So I dug and dug and dug until I finally found the videos and put in the request, paid the money, got part of what they promised me. Hopefully I've paid enough, because I don't have all 3 videos anyway. Sidebar, I've been trying to bring so many body cam videos to you guys, and it feels like, I almost wanted to nix the whole thing. You know, I got a $154 bill from some other place, and that Arizona one did not work out. But the bill I got from Maui, the estimate I got from cops in Maui was, I think it was the highest I've ever received. There was this incident, it sounded interesting. Cops in Maui, at first they wanted to charge me $400. She just called back and emailed back like the other day or yesterday. It's up to $1,200. I just said, forget it. Bodycam footage in an unrelated case. I want to be able to bring all these to you guys, and especially my Patreon members. I've been just trying. It's ridiculous. What is the point of taxpayers paying for all the bodycam videos and footage if they're going to charge me $1,200 to try and bring you just one incident? Back to Judge Lama. Naturally, I assumed I'd see some kind of domestic incident between him and his wife in these videos, but instead, we see Lama's fears unfolding over this YouTuber. And Lama even talks about some unknown woman, unnamed woman, who followed his ex-wife to church. Allegedly, she sent her direct messages on Facebook. When the woman finally caught up with Judge Lama's ex-wife in person, she said, talk to me about Suzanne Morphew. And that's when Iris Lama said, ma'am, no, just basically leave me alone. And she had blocked her, I guess, on Facebook. Lama admits he doesn't know who that woman was. He's like, is she, I didn't recognize her as a reporter, a credentialed reporter or not. He doesn't know who she was, but it freaked his ex-wife out enough where she's just like, she's passing him notes, and she's just freaked out over it. And that's another thing too, I will say about us YouTubers and journalistic integrity and everything. Like, it's like our same passion that drives us to get the answers, like a dog with a bone. Like, we are not giving up on this until we see these victims get justice. But it's the same kind of passion that can go over the top and scare people. And, we have to I try to remember training I've gotten from like real journalists, the who, what, when, why, where, and stick with these, who knows what's too far. I love Brian Enton. Some people think, him sneaking behind Brian Koberger's parents' gate or whatever getting in there, getting that video of Koberger's parents' house and, trying to talk to them. Some people might say that's a bridge too far. Is that harassing, threatening, stalking? Where do you draw the line? If a YouTuber did that, would they just be like, oh, you're just some true crime YouTuber, you're going too far? It varies. I mean, Hard Copy was the one who seemed to really break the barriers in doing that kind of journalism, in-your-face journalism, like A Current Affair and all those when they came around back in the day. Now we know from watching this BODYCAM video why an article appeared in the Denver Gazette on November 3rd, 2023, and it read, Lama threatened. So it's like, don't kill the messenger. This is where reporters were getting this from. Lama was telling police that he truly felt threatened. He was the victim of threats. You'll hear they're talking about in this BODYCAM footage, what do you need to get for a stalking charge or threats against a judge? I can see both sides. The boots on the ground YouTubers or whomever, they just want the story. They don't want Suzanne to be forgotten. They want her to get justice. They don't want whoever her perpetrator is to just walk off scot-free in the sunshine and just forget all about her. On the other hand, these judges and lawyers, they're watching stuff like that guy who jumped over the bench and hurt that judge, or, they're watching stuff where people do take it too far. And also in here, Barry Morphew's defense team, Judge Lama talks about this YouTuber. He claims, he threatened them. They're watching him. I mean, this is 2022. I don't know. You'll see there's still more drama going on with Lama. Lama drama still is going on in 2024. Not just about this specific instance, but it's all kind of combined and related. So back in that November 3rd, 2023 article where, Judge Lama's talking about he's been threatened, he said when he oversaw this high-profile case, the 11th Judicial District Attorney, Linda Stanley, launched an investigation into his prior marriage, trying to dig up dirt in order to remove him. Lama said, it was shocking to me. These were flagrant bullying and retaliatory actions, and I thought the public needed to know. That's his perspective. Some people see it as trying to get justice. They were wondering, okay, if Lama had any violence in his marriage, is that why he's keeping out Suzanne's testimony? If so, he has a conflict of interest and he needs to recuse himself. So that's one way you can see it, and he can see it as shocking and bullying and retaliatory actions. He said the situation was so scary, and you can see how scared he is in this BODYCAM. Cannon City Police kept watch on his home and even escorted him to court for a time afterwards. So they talk about this, escorts and all that. Lama is saying Linda Stanley had no basis to look into his personal life except for rumor and manufactured conspiracy theories. In particular, he believes she was influenced by a YouTube video of a man dressed in a bulletproof vest who criticized Lama's handling of the case. It says in the video, which was live streamed last March, the man forwarded a theory that Lama's rulings were influenced by alleged domestic violence in his marriage. Lama described a disturbing moment when the man looked into the camera and threatened him. Judge Lama, get off the case or else more is coming. Whether the YouTuber said that or not, we can't prove unless someone had downloaded this live. I don't remember it verbatim. Judge Lama is telling the cops, he kind of tells them a variety. He says, get off the case or more is coming. Or then he goes, no, he didn't say that. He said, I'm giving you time, or whatever was said. Judge Lama took it as a threat. And in fact, controversy is still swirling around Lama in 2024 as I sit here and film this. According to Denver 7, 2 additional prosecutors in the case against Barry Morphew are being accused of conspiring to discredit the judge who was overseeing the now dismissed trial. Disciplinary complaints filed by the Colorado Supreme Court Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel, or OARC, on Friday accused Robert Weiner, the former Deputy Attorney General for the 1st Judicial District, and Mark Hurlburt, I'll try and say that without laughing, Mark Hurlburt, the Deputy Attorney General for the 11th District. They're being accused of misconduct and abuse of power during the initial prosecution of Barry Morphew in 2022. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. We know Suzanne disappeared from her home in Chaffee County. Prosecutors are saying, look, Suzanne was ready to leave Barry. He found out she was having an affair, and he staged this whole bicycle incident to make it look like Suzanne went off on a bike ride and never came home again. But thankfully, by September 27th, 2023, Suzanne's remains were found down in Saguache County, and we don't know what they'll be able to tell from those remains, if her remains will be able to, link anyone to her death. But in this complaint, the board asked for prosecutors to face punishment up to and including disbarment. Linda Stanley's trial is set for June 2024, so we'll be looking out for that. According to Denver's Eaton law firm, that's who's representing Barry Morphew. Boy, don't we know Iris Eaton, huh? So there's been these text messages that have come out. They're claiming prosecutors withheld evidence, violated court orders, and attempted to have Judge Lama recused from the case because prosecutors are feeling like Judge Lama was so hard on them, mean on them, didn't like them. In the complaint, the OARC alleges that Weiner, Hurlburt, and Linda Stanley, the DA, felt that Judge Lama, quote, hated them and conspired to get him removed after learning about Lama's ex-wife's work as an anti-domestic violence advocate. Just because Lama's ex-wife was an advocate against domestic violence, it doesn't mean she experienced domestic violence in her marriage to Lama. I think that was the leap being made without evidence, and I do like evidence. And this complaint is saying the team failed to stop Linda Stanley from pursuing investigation into Judge Lama's relationship with his ex-wife. Now this is the kicker. The team allegedly, I guess they're saying the team allegedly enlisted their own investigator. They later discovered, after talking to Lama's ex-wife, that there were no instances of domestic violence in their relationship. So I do hope that is true. I hope that's a true and correct answer. I hope she's, not feeling threatened or pressured or anything. She's more afraid, it seems, of the people who were following her around and all this other stuff that was going on at this point in the body cam video footage. I hope that no undue influence has made Judge Lama, reject Suzanne's allegations from Barry's would-be trial. There's evidence in these complaints, screenshots of text conversations between the three of them, where Linda starts the conversation with, "You guys might want to read this." She was referring to that change.org petition I mentioned earlier, created by a YouTube influencer to have the judge removed. They discuss pulling the judge's divorce case to possibly glean more information they could use against Lama. So Stanley is facing similar complaints. A complaint filed in October 2023 alleges she violated the state's professional code of conduct in her interactions with a YouTube influencer before, during, and after Morphew's prosecution. Now here we go. Hurlburt denied the accusations, and he told Denver 7 that he will be, quote, filing a public response. So both Hurlburt and Weiner have 28 days to file a response to this complaint. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens, but, watch whatever rest of the body cam videos I put here and listen to the audio coming up where Judge Lama recognizes the big tall cop when he first shows up. He's like, "You've been in my court before." And they just talk about the video. They call it weird. They're claiming that the YouTuber says Judge Lama needs to resign or get off the case. He talks about his first job as being a dad to his then 7-year-old son. He's like, judgeship is second, safety first. And he talks about his ex-wife and the woman showing up at the park. And he's even paranoid because he was over his neighbor's house giving him his bar, but not the liquor, as he says. And somebody's truck, he doesn't know who it was, kept riding around. Now, that doesn't mean it was this YouTube guy that they're talking about. I don't even know what kind of car he drives. But Lama talks about having personal interactions with this man in court who drove from a different portion of Colorado. He was so upset that he drove the next day to Lama's courtroom because his name was brought up by the defense attorneys on record. The defense attorneys on record were blaming this YouTuber for broadcasting whatever trial it was, whatever hearing it was, but they got it wrong. He wasn't doing it. But so the guy showed up to clear his name, and the guy admitted he did say F Judge Lama, but he wasn't the one who hacked the WebEx. Judge Lama says they have information that he's threatening the defense team and the judge. He seems unstable. He gives me the creeps. Judge Lama says he's a little scary. I have a lot of people come in court. You just don't know about predicting human behavior. And I tell you what, I don't know. People, I get so many emails, and there's all YouTube wars, and people send me stuff like pages long worth of stuff on these different cases, like the Richard Allen case or the Koberger case. All these different cases, people do get really passionately consumed, and I don't blame them. Some of these cases I get consumed with too. But we do have to be mindful, I think, and take caution about, directly adding lawyers and judges too much, or going in their courtroom and maybe seeming threatening and imposing, and maybe we're just angry because we want justice. It's a whole nother thing to be perceived as someone who's threatening a judge, and almost caught a charge here of threatening and harassing, and some people don't see it that way. They don't understand. They want to text, or they want to do whatever, and I don't mean just the people in this case. I mean in general in true crime. And thankfully, Judge Lama's okay. We will see what else happens with this, but if they don't send me anything else about this case, I think this is the end. No evidence of Judge Lama harming his ex-wife or anything. Nothing. And, should people be following his ex-wife around? And yeah, that gets a little dicey when it's one thing searching for a story and we're digging and we're getting what we can. It's quite another to go to levels where it starts to feel threatening. So we'll see what else happens. I get it. People just want, in the end, justice for Suzanne. And maybe it's coming out wrong in certain ways. The way maybe DA Stanley approached it. I don't know. I just want whoever harmed Suzanne to be found out, arrested, and put in prison. It's just that simple. Romans 12:19. This is appropriate. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave the way open for God's wrath and his judicial righteousness. For it is written in Scripture, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. I have found that to be so true, even throughout my YouTube career and everything. Anything I've done wrong to people, I just apologize so much. I repent before God. If I harmed people, if I went about things the wrong way, if I said things the wrong way. And at the same token, too, where people who have done me wrong and, falsely struck my channel or done things, and then I watched them over the years, how I didn't even have to do anything to them, where I watched their lives fall apart, or people just come back and apologize, or comments and stuff I've gotten where people are like, I'm so sorry, even reading a scripture, and some guy's like, I'm so sorry, and he's leaving me a super thanks about what I said about, God or scripture on your channel. I don't even know. Thank God for protecting me from what he even said. I didn't even know what he said. And that's how much I just don't have to worry about avenging myself. So my point is, we can be Suzanne Morphew's advocates legally in all the legal ways. And that means by just keeping up with the case, keeping up with if there's ever another arrest, finding out if there will be another WebEx trial ever, finding out what we're legally allowed to bring to our viewers, and do it in a way, hopefully, that's try and remain tactful, even if we're angry, even if we're seeking justice. Just do it in a way where we're getting good info, but without coming across in the wrong way or threatening, and that at the same token, us not being blamed like this guy was incorrectly when he did not hack a WebEx. So I hope all that makes sense. Check the links below to watch the full body cam footage. We'll see if they send me any more. If not, maybe this will be the end of the Judge Lama drama, and hopefully Suzanne's justice will not tarry and will come soon. And will arrive soon, we pray. In Jesus' name, thanks.
Is that cool?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I was
inside
reaching
with my
out.
mom.
Okay.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I wanted to double check with you before we just come knocking on your door. And so this is Joey Pagels. We're running short shifted right now, so we got 3 guys on the road. BODYCAM's the acting sergeant for this week because his supervisor's out of town.
Okay.
But I wanted to loop him in so that over the next couple days he can come chat with you.
Kind of crazy too when it was going down. I see the truck.
Yeah, was it right up here?
He just kept going back and forth.
Oh, on this road?
This road, yeah.
Because when we talked about it on the phone, I was thinking he was...
On Tanner?
Yeah.
No, he was coming up and down on Cedar Ridge.
Okay.
Because I didn't even notice. They came over, I was giving away something, and he goes, dude, what's going on with this guy? This guy's gone by 4 times by your house.
That's weird.
And I hadn't told him what's going on. I was
Okay.
like, Ramsey Lama.
Joey Pigs.
Nice to meet you.
I've signed a lot of my warrants. So.
Oh, have I? So you guys, I got a 7-year-old and my mom, so I didn't want them to be concerned.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm not telling my little boy like what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys want to?
That's
in
it.
The garage?
Whatever's best for you,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't want him to worry. His these lights on this garage don't work, but I got that light. I got cameras. I got 2 good dogs.
Okay.
So I'm actually in the process of moving.
Okay.
So I'm moving this week, and so we're getting ready for a move. And I was like, God, of all times for something like this to happen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know, right?
He's got Tupac up in here.
Oh, I got Tupac. I got some Creed. My favorite Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Nice. Got the bike.
Yeah. Took this thing out today.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's great.
That is awesome.
It's as fun as it looks.
Blacked out too. That's nice. That's really nice.
It's a Yamaha MT9, man. It is super fun.
So probably a silly question, but you plan on working tomorrow, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a docket tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
We don't want to take up too much of your time
Yeah.
having that you need to be in tomorrow, but
No. No, I appreciate you guys.
yeah, of course.
I mean, and so Officer BODYCAM's he's gonna get a statement to get it going.
Yeah, if that's okay with
Oh,
you.
absolutely, yeah.
I talked to my command staff. They reached out to Salida. There's nothing yet. They
Okay.
reached out to the sheriff's office. It sounds like the sheriff's office is aware, but they haven't done anything formal
Okay.
on their end. So I kind of got their okay to at least get an initial statement. That way, depending on jurisdiction, we can kick it or hold
Sure.
on to it, depending on however that works out. So
So call my buddy Alec Coscarella that's out at Salida, but he said, because that name sounds familiar, but how?
okay.
Always sounds familiar.
Yeah.
He I got about 25 minutes into that video ish, and he talks about when you had him in the courtroom in Salida, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came into Salida. That's a whole nother story. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
How's it going?
This is Judge Lama, Officer BODYCAM.
Nice to meet you. You've been in my courtroom before.
Couple times, sir.
Yeah.
So he's
bigger than I remember.
Oh, yeah, he's a big boy.
Okay. Well, you know what it is? I probably look smaller because I'm on the bench. It's like a Wizard of Oz effect. Nobody recognizes me off the bench. I'm super short.
So this is his first night on this week. Do you guys work through Wednesday? Okay, so he'll be on through Wednesday night.
Alright.
So at least from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., this will be the shift that's
Okay.
around.
See some extra patrols.
Yeah, Sergeant Sabatino's shift will take over in the morning,
Alright.
and they'll be on through Wednesday as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just hoping we could get an initial statement as far as
Yeah.
kind of how all this
That's all right with you.
kind of played
absolutely.
out. His son's inside, so we're just going to do it here. He wants to kind of keep it
my son
perfectly fine.
and my mom, so I don't want them to worry. So
worries.
I'm not sharing that with my kiddo.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, you know. So if you don't mind, I'll give you whatever statement you need. Or
So, start from the beginning. What's going on?
so driving is after I got a call from.
So I came up here. Haven't seen anything out of the ordinary coming up this way, and then I came down Tanner twice, and I even looped around. Haven't seen anything, but he said today there was a 4-door beige newer truck running back and forth on this road. Probably went by about 5 times, and his friend actually pointed it out. So that I think Bryce got that in the patrol watch and everything, or in the bolo, but okay. That's just something worth keeping an eye out. It may have been because he had some for sale signs out here, but
I was voluntold
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
one day off.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. And then,
Yeah, we'll continue patrol watches on the residents
Yeah.
throughout the week, and
cool.
we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
As Sarge advised, we're going to pass this on to the day shift as well, so they can keep an eye out
Okay.
as well. Is there any other places you'd like us to keep an eye on other than here?
Ý đến của Cờ Viện Biên Phòng tìm kiếm công cuộc Cờ Viện, trong đó ẩn than chia sẻ chế độ tạm thời tắt đi nhắn xem để biểu tượng không có gì đây được rồi tiếp tục và rồi không có sự tiếp tục.